What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video guys, I'm going to be going over the best units you can use on the Purgatory Bond team, because Purgatory Bond is coming to global on Grand Cross, and I wanted to explain to you guys the best characters you can be using for when you actually pull Purgatory Bond and want to make a team. So the main thing you have to think about when using Purgatory Bond is that his attacks scale off of HP. If you have high HP with Purgatory Bond, it's going to be doing more damage regardless of, like, you know, however high your attack is, because your attack is not going to be affected at all. It's only his HP into account when doing damage on his cards, right? So that's going to be super important. I don't think I need to go over what Purgatory Bond does. I think you guys get the gist of what he does. I'll go over it briefly. Detonate on his first skill, and it scales off of HP, scaling up to 21%. Whenever he moves or fills gauge, like moves a skill card or fills gauge, or even just ranks up his skills, he increases max HP by 8% for 3 turns, max of 5 stacks, and cleanses stat, decreasing debuffs. He has a gift card which increases his 50% of his HP, diminished HP. Every time, like, you know, when he uses the card, he's gonna heal 50% diminished, increases his max HP total by 30%. And then, you know, his ultimate here is just damage equal to 30% of max HP, scaling up to 45%, including Rupture at 6 out of 6. He is cracked. Like, Purgatory Bond is just stupid, right? The highest CC in the game, like some of the highest stats in the game as well. Very, like, just broken, right? He's just cracked. So Purgatory Bond, obviously a staple. You're gonna have to run him on the team. The second unit is going to be Arthur. Arthur, I think he is a necessity on this team only because of what he provides for Purgatory Bond. Increases allies' max HP by 30% and their damage dealt to enemies by 20% if every ally in battle is a human, a plasma entering battle. So basically what Arthur is going to do right here is he's going to give 20% damage dealt, which it does work for Purgatory Bond because that's not attack, it's just damage dealt. So every time Bond uses a card and does damage, it's going to be increased by 20% of the damage dealt, which is really nice. Arthur has charge, which is not too bad, and then he has this stance taunt card, which is really good because every time they attack into you, they lose gauge. And then his ultimate here is going to inflict detonate damage equal to 560%, scaling up to 840% at 6 out of 6. So, you know, if you guys haven't seen my videos on how you should be going about summoning on the banners, definitely make sure to summon on Purgatory Bond's banner and then summon on Excalibur Arthur's banner, because that banner is going to be out still while Purgatory Bond's banner is out as well. So that's going to be that right there. The next character I have on the list is going to be the Red Easton. Red Easton is not like a super good pick, but I think she has some viability on the team, being that she's red and she's human. She's also going to decrease damage taken from allies if there are, you know, 7 catastrophes. So she's the only one that's going to get that bonus. And her skill set right here is not too bad because she has depleting gauge. She also has you know, a buff card right here, which can actually give you defense related stats and debuff immunity, which could be somewhat nice. And then spike ultimate, not too bad. She's kind of just like an honorable mention, to be honest, but you know, she has her uses on the team. The next character is going to be the one Asnore. Obviously, this is just a staple. The one Asnore, Arthur, Purgatory Bond is a pretty good team on JP, I'd say. You know, the only thing is with the one Asnore is since he's not red, he's not going to scale off of HP. So he's not going to be like, you know, or like, not that he's not going to scale off HP. He's just not going to be getting all the HP buffs from the team. Like, he's going to get it from Arthur, but he's not going to get it from like Twigo or Grimoire if he were to run them. So that's like the only thing right there. I mean, Grimoire he will, but not Twigo. Right, so like, yeah, that's the only thing with Asnore. I don't think he's gonna be too viable on the team, but I mean, you could definitely run him, obviously, because he's just super cracked the way he is. Flood, and then he's just raw attack card, and then you guys know what the one does. I don't really need to go over the one. You know how broken he is. You just slap him on the Purgatory Bond team. You have 2 threats to take out. You have Purgatory Bond and the one Asnore being threats. So the team in itself is not even bad at all. It's really good, actually. So that's gonna be the one Asnore right there. Next character is going to be Hauser. He's going to be a backline support for this team. You definitely do not want to run Hauser in the front. The only reason you're running Hauser is to increase human allies' basic stats by 8%. That is all you're running Hauser for, and if you are running Hauser, it's not too bad, but there are some better backline supports I'll actually go over pretty soon here, like once we cover these next few characters. But Hauser is definitely a really good backline option, and he's an easy 6 out of 6 because he's free to play. So, you know, nice pickup right there if you want to use him in the backline. The next character we're gonna have here is Guardian Jericho, the red one. So red Jericho, I think, is a pretty good option to be in that like slot that the one Asnore is in. So if you run Purgatory Bond, Arthur, red Jericho, and then just like whatever your backline, I think that team is really good, especially because Jericho is red too. She goes and coincides pretty well with the mono red type team, which I think is really nice. And then another thing as well with Jericho is that she has a freeze skill, which is just, you know, a pretty nice skill right there, having freeze on rank 2, and then she has detonate on her single target on her second skill. And then for every time she crits the enemy, she basically applies like defense related down, so it's kind of like Ludo, but just for herself. But yeah, it's pretty nice. And then her ultimate here is just spike single target. We know how broken this ultimate can be, right? So Jericho, really good pickup. She's definitely very good for the team, especially having that freeze. Because if you're facing an opposing Bond team and you drop the freeze on the Bond, there's not really anything that Bond can do for that whole turn, right? I think that's just an easy clear. And Jericho can definitely help up the team in that case scenario. The next character we got here is going to be Kyo. So Kyo is not going to be accessible for a lot of people, but I mean, if you were playing during the time of the KOF collab and you have Kyo, he might not be a bad option on the Purgatory Bond team. He's red first off, so you know he's getting the red buff. He's going to be applying ignites every single turn, 2 ignites at a time on every enemy, and reducing damage dealt to allies by 5%. Very nice. And then he has co-destruction single target, which is going to do increased damage per debuff on the enemy. And then he's just going to have blaze AoE, which is, you know, already like really good against ignited enemies. So very, very powerful right there. And then he has the ultimate that applies ignites, you know, applies 2 ignites on the enemy and does damage. So like Kyo being like a support for Bond is not too bad, because he's going to increase Bond's damage by applying the ignites, and he's also going to give damage reduction to the entire team, which is very good. So I think Kyo is a pretty good option right there for that same slot as the one Asnore, Jericho, and you know, like just that like DPS slot, right? I think that's like a pretty good slot for Kyo. The next character we're going to have here is going to be red Roxy and green Roxy. I think these two are interchangeable depending on how you want to go about. But red Roxy here, inflicting explosion damage on an enemy, heals the hero's max HP by 30%, and fills the ultimate move gauge by 1 orb. I think that passive on red Roxy can coincide pretty well with the team, being that most of the team is mono red. And if you're running like a full like mono red health support for Roxy, she's gonna, and for Roxy and Bond I should say, she's gonna be healing a lot every time she does her explode card, which is really good, right? So I think overall red Roxy is not gonna be a too bad of an option, because she does the remove buff, cancel stances on one, she has the explode on the other card, healing on her passive here through her explode cards, and then she also has fill gauge on her ultimate. It's not too bad, but I think green Roxy will overall be the better character to use here, and the reason for that is because she's going to increase heroes attack related stats by 15% for each ally of the same race participating in battle. So this counts towards being human basically. So if you're running a full human team, which, you know, Purgatory Bond and Arthur are both humans, if you slap Roxy on the team, you're going to be getting what, 30% attack related stats increase. So that's pretty nice right there. And then what she has here, she has cancel stances, single target. She has charge AoE, which is not too bad at all. And she also has like fill gauge on her ultimate, which I think is very powerful as well when you're trying to rush an ultimate, and get some like, you know, get some pretty good damage on the enemy there. I think Roxy is going to be a pretty good option on the team as well if you have her built up, and she can do pretty well on the team. The next 2 characters are going to be backline support. So we have Twigo here. If you want to run Twigo, he's going to be here for the strength attribute allies HP by 30%. And then we have the next character being Griamore, which is going to be increase allies HP related stats by 15% in PvP. So these are going to be your 2 backline options for the team. Because they're actually not too bad, like especially Twigo giving 30% HP for strength attribute allies. This is why we kind of prioritize like red characters on the Purgatory Bond team, like if you're running like a full red team right there, just because they're providing so much HP. They're all stacking HP. Arthur's giving 30% HP, Twigo's giving 30% HP. If like the thing is too, you can actually run Griamore on the main frontline team because he does have Merlin Shield, right? He has Merlin Shield, single target 600%. He's giving 15% HP related stats. You can run Griamore, Arthur, Bond, and then Twigo backline, and you could have a super beefy HP team for Bond right there. Like I think that is one of the best teams for Bond, I'd say, just because of how much like tankiness you can have and how much damage Bond's gonna be outputting. Like it's actually just cracked. So these are going to be the last 2 units I go over in the video. They're very good, and you can actually all run them all on the same team. Like think about it, 15% HP related stats, 30% HP, 30% HP again. Bond already has insane HP. You use his freaking, every time Bond moves a card, he gets HP. Like it's just, bro, the whole synergy with the mono red team, I think, is what's going to be like really really beneficial for the Purgatory Bond team. And I think that's why like Purgatory Bond team is super nice as well, is because there's so many free to play units you can run on the team. Like as we went through, like we already went through a lot of them. Like Purgatory Bond himself, he's not free to play, you gotta pull him. Arthur, you also have to pull him, but the rest of the team you could just run free to play. Greenmore and Twigo, like the units I just went over, they are free to play options. You can run both of them, right? And you'll do super well. You can run like, you know, Roxy, as I said. You can run even like Mono's not a bad idea either, like after thinking about it. Yeah, Kyo, as I said. Yeah, but like basically any human that just, you know, is really good, you can just slap them on the Purgatory Bond team, easy clap, and then you'll do well. So that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.